Welcome to Snooze Tales Studio. Hello, dear listeners. Tonight, we invite you to join us for a gentle story called Camping Under the Stars. Let the warmth of a campfire and the twinkling starlight help you unwind and drift into a world of peaceful dreams. It was a perfect summer evening, with the sky painted in soft shades of lavender and pink as the sun slowly dipped below the horizon. In a small clearing in the woods, nestled between tall pines and fragrant wildflowers, a campsite had been set up, ready for a night of adventure and tranquility. A cozy little tent stood nearby, its fabric gently moving with the breeze, while a campfire crackled softly, sending sparks up toward the darkening sky. A young woman named Lily sat by the fire, her legs stretched out comfortably as she wrapped herself in a warm blanket. She looked up at the sky, watching as the first stars began to appear, tiny pinpricks of light against the vast expanse of dark blue. There was something magical about the forest at night, something that made the world feel both infinite and intimate all at once. The scent of pine needles mingled with the smoky aroma of the campfire, and the quiet rustle of leaves in the breeze added to the sense of calm that settled over the campsite. Lily reached for her mug of hot cocoa, savoring the warmth as she took a slow sip. The rich, sweet taste filled her senses, and she let out a contented sigh, feeling the stress of the day melt away. She had come here to reconnect with nature, to escape the noise of everyday life, and to spend a quiet night under the stars. And now, with the fire crackling before her and the sky slowly filling with starlight, she felt a deep sense of peace. Nearby, her friend Oliver was arranging the sleeping bags inside the tent. He peeked out, smiling at Lily. Ready to watch the stars? He asked, his voice soft so as not to disturb the gentle quiet of the forest. Lily smiled and nodded. Absolutely, she replied, her eyes twinkling with excitement. She loved stargazing, the feeling of lying beneath the vast sky, the universe stretching endlessly above her. There was something humbling about it, something that made all her worries feel small and far away. Oliver joined her by the fire, and together they lay back on a large blanket they had spread out on the ground. The fire crackled softly behind them, its warmth reaching them even as they gazed up at the night sky. The stars were bright now, scattered across the dark canvas like glittering jewels. The Milky Way stretched above them, a river of light that seemed to flow endlessly through the sky. They lay there in comfortable silence, listening to the sounds of the forest around them. The gentle chirping of crickets filled the air, their song blending with the occasional hoot of an owl in the distance. The breeze rustled the leaves overhead, and the world felt alive, as if it were breathing along with them. Lily closed her eyes for a moment, letting the sounds wash over her, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the earth beneath her. Look, Oliver said softly, pointing toward the sky. A shooting star. Lily opened her eyes just in time to see it, a streak of light moving gracefully across the sky before fading away into the darkness. She smiled, her heart filled with wonder. Make a wish, she whispered, her voice barely audible above the crackling of the fire. Oliver closed his eyes for a moment, and Lily did the same. She wished for more nights like this, nights filled with peace, with warmth, with the quiet beauty of nature. She wished for moments that made her feel small in the best possible way, moments that reminded her of the beauty of the world. After a while, Oliver reached for his guitar, which had been resting against a nearby log. He began to play a soft, gentle melody, the notes floating through the air like a lullaby. The music blended with the sounds of the forest, creating a soothing symphony that seemed to wrap around them like a warm embrace. Lily listened, her eyes on the stars, the music filling her with a sense of calm and contentment. The fire flickered, casting dancing shadows on the nearby trees. The warmth of the flames, the gentle melody of the guitar, and the cool night air all came together to create a sense of perfect harmony. Lily felt her eyes growing heavy, her body relaxing into the blanket beneath her. She glanced over at Oliver, who was still strumming softly, his eyes also gazing upward, lost in the beauty of the night. "Thank you for this," Lily said quietly, her voice filled with gratitude. "I think I needed it more than I realized." Oliver smiled, his fingers never posing on the strings. "We all need nights like this," he replied, "a chance to breathe, to remember what's important, and to just be." Lily nodded, her eyes drifting back to the sky. The stars seemed to twinkle in agreement, their light steady and reassuring. She felt a sense of connection, to Oliver, to the forest, to the entire universe. It was as if, in this quiet moment, everything was exactly as it should be. The worries of the world felt distant, like echoes from another time and place, and all that mattered was the gentle rhythm of the night. As the fire began to die down, Lily and Oliver moved closer to the warmth, wrapping the blankets around their shoulders. The night was cool, but the warmth of the fire and the shared companionship kept them comfortable. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing stories and dreams, their words blending with the sounds of the forest. The stars above seemed to listen, their light flickering softly, as if they were a part of the conversation. Eventually, the fire burned down to glowing embers, and the forest grew quieter, the night settling into a deep, peaceful stillness. Lily and Oliver climbed into their tent, the fabric rustling softly as they settled into their sleeping bags. The air inside was cool, but they were warm beneath the layers of blankets, the scent of the campfire still lingering around them. Lily lay on her back, gazing up at the faint outline of the stars through the tent's mesh window. She could hear the gentle rustle of the leaves outside, the soft chirping of the crickets, and the steady breathing of her friend beside her. It was comforting, this feeling of being surrounded by nature, of being part of something greater. She closed her eyes, her body relaxing, her mind drifting as the sounds of the forest lulled her to sleep. She dreamed of the stars, of lying beneath them in the open clearing, their light washing over her like a gentle wave. She dreamed of the forest, of the tall pines swaying softly in the breeze, their branches whispering secrets to the night. She dreamed of the campfire, its warmth and light a beacon in the darkness, and of the quiet companionship of a friend who understood the magic of nights like this. As dawn approached, a soft glow began to spread across the horizon, the first light of day chasing away the shadows of the night. The forest slowly awoke, the birds beginning to sing, their song blending with the gentle rustle of the leaves. Lily stirred in her sleeping bag, her eyes fluttering open to the soft light of morning. She felt rested, her heart full, her spirit at peace. Oliver was already awake, sitting at the edge of the tent, watching the sun rise. He turned and smiled at Lily as she sat up, her eyes still heavy with sleep. "Morning," he said quietly. "Morning," Lily replied, her voice soft. She crawled out of the tent and joined Oliver, the cool morning air refreshing against her skin. They sat together in silence, watching as the sun slowly rose, its golden light spreading across the clearing, warming the earth beneath them. The morning was serene, the forest bathed in soft golden hues as sunlight filtered through the trees, casting long shadows across the ground. The birds were fully awake now, their songs echoing through the clearing, filling the air with a sense of life and new beginnings. The gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze added to the tranquility, making it feel as though the entire forest was waking up with them, greeting the day with open arms. Oliver reached into his backpack and pulled out a small thermos of coffee, pouring some into 2 cups. He handed one to Lily, who took it gratefully, wrapping her hands around the warm cup. The rich aroma of the coffee mixed with the fresh scent of the forest, creating a perfect blend of comfort and energy. They sipped their coffee slowly, savoring the warmth as they watched the sun climb higher in the sky. Lily let out a contented sigh, leaning her head against Oliver's shoulder. "It's so beautiful here," she said softly, her eyes fixed on the shimmering dew that clung to the blades of grass. "I wish we could stay like this forever." Oliver smiled, his gaze also on the clearing before them. "We can always come back," he replied. "The forest will be here, and the stars will always be waiting for us." He paused, glancing at Lily. "And maybe that's what makes it so special, knowing we can always return to moments like this, but also knowing that each one is unique." Lily nodded, understanding what he meant. There was something precious about these moments, about the quiet beauty of the forest, the warmth of the campfire, and the peace that came from being surrounded by nature. It was a reminder of what truly mattered, a chance to reconnect with themselves and with each other. The simplicity of it all was what made it so profound. After finishing their coffee, they decided to take a walk through the forest. The ground was soft beneath their feet, the path winding between the tall trees, their branches arching overhead to form a natural canopy. Shafts of sunlight broke through the leaves, illuminating patches of wildflowers that grew along the trail. The air was fresh and cool, carrying with it the scent of damp earth and pine needles. The forest felt alive, every sound, every movement adding to its vibrant energy. As they walked, they came across a small stream, its waters clear and sparkling as they flowed over smooth stones. Lily knelt beside the stream, dipping her fingers into the cool water, feeling the gentle current flow around her hand. The sound of the bubbling stream was like music, a soft, soothing melody that blended with the rustling leaves and the distant calls of birds. Oliver joined her, kneeling beside the stream and cupping his hands to take a sip of the refreshing water. The coolness of the stream invigorated them both, and they lingered there for a while, enjoying the peacefulness of the spot. Lily found a flat rock by the stream and sat down, her feet just barely touching the water. Oliver sat beside her, and they watched as a few small fish darted through the clear stream, their scales glinting in the sunlight. The forest around them was alive with movement, birds flitting from branch to branch, squirrels scurrying along tree trunks, and the occasional butterfly drifting lazily on the breeze. It was as if the entire world was waking up with them. Filled with a sense of energy and life, they spent the rest of the morning exploring the forest, taking in the sights and sounds that surrounded them. They discovered a patch of wild berries growing in a sunny spot, their bright red and blue colors standing out against the green leaves. Lily picked a few, savoring the sweet, tart taste as the juice burst in her mouth. Oliver laughed as a bird swooped down, snatching a berry from his hand before flying off, and they both marveled at the playfulness of the forest creatures. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, they made their way back to the campsite, their hearts light and their spirits refreshed. The clearing was still bathed in golden sunlight, the remnants of their campfire now just a few glowing embers. They sat down on the blanket, the warmth of the sun replacing the need for the fire, and shared a simple lunch of sandwiches and fruit. The air was filled with the hum of insects, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the distant murmur of the stream, all blending together to create a perfect symphony of nature. After lunch, Lily lay back on the blanket, closing her eyes as the warmth of the sun enveloped her. The gentle hum of the forest surrounded her, the rustling leaves, the soft buzz of bees visiting the wildflowers, and the distant sound of the stream. It was all so peaceful, so perfect. She felt herself drifting into a light doze, her body relaxing into the ground beneath her. Oliver, sitting beside her, watched as a butterfly fluttered close, its wings delicate and colorful as it danced through the air. He smiled, feeling the tranquility of the moment settle deep within him. It was as if time itself had slowed, allowing them to fully take in the beauty of the day. After some time, Lily stirred, opening her eyes and blinking at the bright blue sky above. She turned her head to look at Oliver, who was leaning back on his hands, his eyes closed and a contented expression on his face. "Hey," she said softly, not wanting to disturb the calm. Oliver opened his eyes, turning to her with a smile. "Hey, have a good nap." Lily nodded, stretching her arms above her head. "I think I did." Everything just feels perfect here. All of us smiled in agreement. It really does. They spent the rest of the afternoon wandering through the woods, finding little treasures hidden in the forest. The bright red of a cardinal perched high in the branches, a cluster of mushrooms growing at the base of an old tree, the tracks of a deer imprinted in the soft earth. Each discovery was like a little gift, a reminder of the beauty of the world around them. As evening began to fall, they returned to the campsite. The air had cooled, and the shadows of the trees grew longer as the sun dipped lower in the sky. Oliver rekindled the campfire, and soon the comforting crackle of the flames filled the clearing once more. They sat close to the fire, wrapped in their blankets, watching as the sky transformed into a canvas of deep purples and blues. Lily tilted her head back, her eyes widening as more and more stars began to appear, twinkling softly in the darkening sky. "It's amazing how many stars you can see out here," she said, her voice filled with awe. Oliver nodded, his eyes also on the sky. "You don't realize how much you're missing until you get away from all the city lights. It makes you feel connected somehow." Lily smiled, understanding what he meant. The stars above seemed endless, each one a tiny point of light, a reminder of just how vast the universe was. It was humbling, but also comforting, to know that they were a part of something so much bigger. They sat in silence for a while, simply watching the stars. The fire crackled, sending sparks up into the night, and the cool night air was filled with the sounds of the forest. An owl hooted somewhere in the distance, and the gentle rustle of the breeze through the trees seemed to whisper secrets of the night. Oliver picked up his guitar again, playing a soft tune that blended perfectly with the quiet of the evening. The melody was gentle, soothing, like a lullaby for the stars. Lily closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her, feeling the peace of the moment settle deep within her. "Do you ever think about how many people have looked up at these same stars?" Lily asked, her eyes still closed, her voice soft. "How many people, in different times, in different places, have found comfort in them?" Oliver nodded, his fingers moving gently over the strings. "Yeah, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it? To think that we're all connected, even across time and distance, by something as simple as the night sky." Lily smiled, opening her eyes to look at him. "It really is." The night deepened, the stars growing brighter as the world around them grew darker. The fire burned down to glowing embers, casting a soft, flickering light across the clearing. Lily and Oliver sat close, wrapped in their blankets, the warmth of the fire and the coolness of the night air creating a perfect balance. Eventually, they made their way back to the tent, the fabric rustling softly as they climbed inside. They settled into their sleeping bags, the scent of the campfire still lingering in the air. Lily lay on her back, gazing up at the faint outline of the stars through the tent's mesh window. She could hear the gentle rustle of the leaves outside, the soft chirping of the crickets, and the steady breathing of a friend beside her. It was comforting, this feeling of being surrounded by nature, of being part of something greater. She closed her eyes, her body relaxing, her mind drifting as the sounds of the forest lulled her to sleep. She dreamed of the stars, of lying beneath them in the open clearing, their light washing over her like a gentle wave. She dreamed of the forest, of the tall pines swaying softly in the breeze, their branches whispering secrets to the night. She dreamed of the campfire, its warmth and light a beacon in the darkness, and of the quiet companionship of a friend who understood the magic of nights like this. As dawn approached, a soft glow began to spread across the horizon, the first light of day chasing away the shadows of the night. The forest slowly awoke, the birds beginning to sing, their song blending with the gentle rustle of the leaves. Lily stirred in her sleeping bag, her eyes fluttering open to the soft light of morning. She felt rested, her heart full, her spirit at peace. Oliver was already awake, sitting at the edge of the tent, watching the sun rise. He turned and smiled at Lily as she sat up, her eyes still heavy with sleep. "Morning," he said quietly. "Morning," Lily replied, her voice soft. She crawled out of the tent and joined Oliver, the cool morning air refreshing against her skin. They sat together in silence, watching as the sun slowly rose, its golden light spreading across the clearing, warming the earth beneath them. It was a new day, filled with new possibilities, but for now they were content to sit and watch, to let the gentle magic of the morning fill their hearts. And as they sat there, surrounded by the beauty of the forest, they knew that this was a moment they would carry with them, a reminder of the peace that could be found beneath the stars, of the quiet beauty of nature, and of the warmth of shared companionship. Thank you for joining us tonight at Snooze Tales Studio. May your dreams be filled with the warmth of a campfire, the twinkle of starlight, and the gentle peace of a night spent under the stars. Good night, dear listeners, and may you always find moments of magic in the quiet beauty of the world.